Yep. Nick Berry, he is the Australian Referee of the Year, and his performance in this game was, I wouldn't say like bad. It was just like the decisions made no freaking sense. I genuinely don't know how some of these decisions were made. Like it didn't even make logical sense. Let alone like it didn't even make basic logical sense. Okay, Nick, like what? Let's go with the first one. Okay, first one was a Hurricanes try on 26th minute. Hurricanes looked like they scored under the next to the post, just over the try line, right? And then they were held up. So Nick, he runs over, he goes to the TM and says, I didn't see the ball on the ground. I see the ball held up over the try line. And Nick's, and the TMO says, and then he goes to the TMO and says, can you see the ball being grounded at any point? So the TMO has a look. The TMO sees the ball being grounded, but he cannot see the ball, where the try line is, the way the camera angle is shot and the goalpost. So he can only see the ball being grounded, but he cannot see the ball over the try line. So, if you're watching this, I'm sure you have a reasonable, I know you're probably like me, I'm not the brightest person in the world, and I'm sure you can probably get what I'm saying here. Just because the ball is on the ground does not mean it's over the line. And Nick Berry says he sees the ball held up over the line. That does not mean the ball was ever over the line, not being held up. You can understand this, right? I'm sure you're smart enough to understand this. Okay? It does not mean the ball touching the ground does not mean it's touched the ground over the try line. Okay? Just and Nick Berry seeing the ball over the try line being held up does not mean the ball was ever touching the ground before he went over the try line. So there's actually no evidence that this try was scored. From the referee's perspective, whether or not it actually been scored or not, it's irrelevant. From the referee's perspective, from what the evidence that is available, there's actually no evidence this try was scored. But Nick Berry says, yep, I saw the ball over the try line. If you see the ball being grounded, I saw the ball over the try line being held up. If you see the ball being grounded, then that's a try. So Nick Berry gives this a try. Okay? So that was the first bizarre incident in this referee decision. And then let's fast forward to the end of the game, okay? So the Riasi was defending the try line. He was outnumbered 2-1 on the wing. Okay, this was like definitely a try. There was no one near him. This looks like a try for the Brumbies. So Brumbies try to throw a pass. Riasi runs in. He knocks the ball up in the air. This is not a deliberate knockdown. This is not a deliberate knock on. He knocks the ball in the air to try to regather it. Right. The Brumbies, one of the Brumbies player sees this, shoulder charge, drops Riasi onto the ground, and Riasi could not recover the ball. And Nick goes, this is a deliberate knock-on. Despite the fact that Riasi was tackled without the ball, and he had an opportunity to regather this ball, and the fact that he got retackled denies him the chance to recover the ball, so that was a deliberate knock-on. Okay? So, okay? And then, so let's say, let's just ignore the shoulder charge and everything. If that is a deliberate knock-on, yellow card, which is the decision by the referee, this should have been a penalty try. Because there was nobody near the winger. I think it was Tom Banks. Maybe it was Tom Wright. There was no one near Tom Wright to cover him. So this should have been a penalty try. And for some reason, Nick Berry thinks, oh no, whilst this is a deliberate knock-on, not a penalty try. Makes no sense. So this is already bizarre enough, right? The game gets even more bizarre in the final try the Brumbies scored, okay? I checked, the replay is not out when I'm making this video. You can go watch this. So the Brumbies basically was going over the try line, right? Let's get his name up. I don't even know his. I was so angry. I didn't write down who it was that scored a try. Crichton, right? He gets tackled. He's actually a little bit short, okay? And as he's falling down, the ball comes loose of his hand, right? And then he hits the ground short, and then he rolls the ball over the try line, and he gets held up. Okay, you get the picture? So when you lose control of the ball in field, that's a knock on. But there is a special situation if the ball comes loose of your hand and it, without leaving contact with your body part, and it touches the goal area, and then it's a try. They changed the law. So if you will remember, I think everybody remembers that infamous moment where Rico Ioane, he slams the ball down in the try against the Wallabies in 2020 in the Bledisloe Cup game. He slams the ball down, and then the referee says there was no try because he lost control of the ball. That's no longer the law. That would have been a try in today because the ball never actually left contact with his hand when he landed on the ground, when he touched the ground. But that is still a knock on if he did that anywhere else on the field. Do you get the picture? So basically, the player gets tackled short and he loses control of the ball. But because he was on the ground, his body is still touching the ball, right? That's still a knock on. But that is still a knock on, especially when this was outside of the try zone. If that was in the try zone, over the try line, that would have been a try. But the fact that it was short, that should have been a knock on. And once the ball went over the try line, it looked like he got held up. So the referee looks at it and goes, "Oh, he didn't lose contact with the ball, and it's a try." Nick, what happened to knock on? The ball was not over the try line when he lost control of it, Nick. I genuinely don't understand what is happening with these referees, okay? This is just really, really awful. Not to mention the other stupid things that went around the game. You know, there was one point where the Hurricanes knocked on the ball in the line out. The whole stadium saw a knock on, but except for the touch judge who was standing right there, and Nick Berry, who somehow saw a knock on for the Brumbies, who didn't even touch the ball, who was not even close to touch the ball. For some reason, Nick thought it was a Brumbies knock on, and the whole stadium was like booing, and the touch judge was just like standing like right there watching this whole thing happen. Didn't say anything, and they had to go to the TMO to figure out it was a Hurricanes knock on. I genuinely don't understand how this referee should be so bad. Like, that's not good enough. That is just so bad. You have to go to TMO to check for a knock on? What? That is just not acceptable. It's just unbelievably bad. And to be fair, the overall quality of the game was maybe because of the referee, but I thought the overall quality of the game was like a C plus at best. These two teams with so much star power, I expected them all. There were so many drop balls, so many errors, penalties given away, and there was no continuity. There was neither teams were able to Brumbies to a better extent were able to put on a bit more pressure over the Hurricanes. Hurricanes were not able to put constant pressure on the Brumbies for most of the game. There was a few individual performances from Riasi that was really good for the Hurricanes. There was a couple more tries for both teams, but overall, I thought this game was like a C plus at best. This was not exactly something that I was expecting, considering there were so many All Blacks players from the Hurricane side and so many Wallabies players in the Brumbies team. And there was just 4 yellow cards, 3 yellow cards. How many yellow cards are there? 3 yellow cards in this game. I mean, if the Fijians can play, if you look at the Fijian, there was not a single red card in the Fijian game, right? Like, how is this, these two teams with world-class players, I genuinely don't know. I don't know. And Brumbies is, I don't know. Brumbies the best team in Australia. I don't know, man. The run meters, 481 to the Hurricanes, so the Brumbies 369. Turnovers conceded though, this is what we're talking about. 16 turnovers conceded for the Hurricanes, 9 for the Brumbies, and tackles made 155 for the Brumbies, 101 for the Hurricanes, 21 missed tackles for the Brumbies. I thought it was more than that. Lololosio missed like 3. Come on, I thought it felt like it was more than 21. Brumbies, the Hurricanes missed 19 tackles. Kicks in play. Again, the Brumbies has a really like kicking focused strategy. 22 kickings in the game to the Hurricanes 9. So really, the Hurricanes try to run the ball, but I thought maybe the Hurricanes probably should have played a bit more kicking game, considering how good Jordie Barrett is at the kicking game. I was kind of surprised to see them try to run the ball and then just constantly like dropping the ball left and right. There was really a lack of continuity for the Hurricanes team, to be really frank. A lot of like drop balls. And then the lineouts, 1 loss for the Hurricanes, 2 scrum loss for the Brumbies. That was pretty surprising to me. I did not expect the Wallabies front row essentially losing 2 scrummagings. Penalties conceded, 7 for the Brumbies, 9 to the Hurricanes. 3 yellow cards this game, and a really subpar referee performance. So overall, the game kind of kicked off with both teams like really safe. 2 penalties for the Brumbies in less than 10 minutes, 1 penalty to the Hurricanes, and the Brumbies start off with a with a 6 points to 3 lead with the penalties. On the 17th minute, the Hurricanes number 5. Nick gets the ball out in the ruck. He runs in. Nick passes the ball away. Pretty standard stuff. Just a little bump. And Nick kind of milked it. Did a big roll. They had a look. It looked pretty bad on replay. Looked like he bumped Nick on the head. And the referee actually says it's a yellow card, despite the fact that he hit him Nick in the head. The referee actually said the yellow card is because it wasn't a lot of force in it. Anyway, so so the Hurricanes number 5 gets yellow card on the 17th minute, and then despite the yellow card, the Hurricanes actually kicked up a gear, start putting a lot of pressure on the Brumbies. On the 25th minute, the Brumbies couldn't handle the pressure. What's his name? The number I think is not Valentini. The Brumbies number 7 knocks the ball out of TJ Perenara's hand from the ruck, right? He was in the ruck, sticks his hand out and knocks the ball out. Like, I just don't know why you would do that. You're a professional player. I genuinely don't know why you would do that. Like, it's so obvious what you did. You're in the ruck, you're out of play, on the ground, sticks his hand out, gets the yellow card as well. So the Brumbies gets himself down to 14 players as well before the Hurricanes could recover back to 15. And then the Hurricanes utilize this opportunity to get the first try on the ball. Umanga Jensen basically crashes over after a few phases of this yellow card. And this is the try where the referee couldn't see the ball on the ground, seeing the ball held up, and the TMO sees the ball on the ground but could not see whether it's over the line or not, and the referee concluded it's a try. So I don't know. You tell me. You tell me how that's a try. You tell me. You tell me how 1 + 1 = 5. You tell me how they come up to that conclusion. And then on the 33rd minute, the Brumbies Rob Valentini gets scoops up a loose ball from the Hurricanes, and he kicks the ball down the field, and there was a big foot chase. He gets there, like there was a bunch of 3 players chasing. Valentini gets his hand. In fact, he and the Hurricanes player were touching the ball at the same time, but because his hand was pushing the ball down, they gave him the try. So, okay. I thought I was... Okay, so that's basically what happened. So him and the Hurricanes player touching the ball exactly the same time while he's being grounded. Because his hand was pushing down on the ball, they gave him a try. So, okay. And then the second half starts... the Brumbies had done a penalty before this. But yeah, so halftime score 16 points to 13 to the Brumbies. Brumbies, despite having more points, was down 188 run meters to 242. 4 turnovers conceded for the Brumbies, 8 turnovers conceded for the Hurricanes. So the Hurricanes already struggling with the turnovers, and 1 yellow card apiece. 6 penalties against the Brumbies, 4 against the Hurricanes. Second half starts. Hurricanes came out firing. Riasi, just on individual performance, he gets the ball and he just runs through Noah Lolosio. And then, basically he gets a really poor pass from his teammate. The ball bounced on the ground. He gets it. Just went, all right, I'll just run. Runs out, Noah Lolosio runs him over for the first try for the Hurricanes. in the second half. Hurricanes gets ahead 20 points to 17. Brumbies gets himself back, piggyback some Hurricanes penalties. They get a close line out. They set the line out for a more. This is the bread and butter for the Brumbies. Goes over for a more try. 21 points to 20. The Brumbies gets themselves back in front. And then a few minutes later on the Simone from the Brumbies team gets a nice little breakthrough from the scrummaging. I thought it was Tom Wright who scored this one. But anyway, he gets he gets the ball offload to Tom Wright, and then Tom Wright. This was just like a nice scrum set piece. Basically, they get the scrum, and then just one pass to Simone, who breaks through. He links up with Tom Wright, and then Tom Wright offloads to Brown. Yeah, that's what happened. Offloads to Brown. Brown goes in for like one set play try from a center field scrum. So this was really nice. 51 minutes, and then the Brumbies gets himself. Yeah, so and then on the 57th minute, the Hurricanes gets a goal line dropout, and the ball gets kicked out on the full. Yeah, I don't know. So the Brumbies gets a scrum 5 meters out, and gets another scrum. So the Faianga Ark gets a short ball from Nick White. He crashes really hard, gets really close. Nick White runs in, rips the ball out from the maul, and quick ball out to Tom Banks. Tom Banks runs in for the fourth try for the Brumbies. And the Hurricanes hits back on the 65th minute. Again, Riasi steps Tom Wright this time, goes for another missed tackle, and he runs through for a nice gap. And then as he's getting taken out from the support players from the Brumbies, he offloads to Creighton. He offloads to Proctor, who runs in for the Hurricanes' third try, 35-25, and then the Brumbies closed out the game with what I just explained happened. Riasi gets yellow card from deliberate knock on, and then the Creighton scores a try despite losing the ball before the try line. So yeah, this is the way the game ended. 42 points to 25 to the Brumbies. Nick Berry. You are... Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And have a good week. Cheers.